This is Beurre Blanc, glossy, silky, rich, the kind of restaurant sauce everyone thinks is impossible to make at home. Spoiler alert, it isn't. If you've ever tried to make a butter sauce and ended up with this, a greasy, broken, oily mess, you are going to love this episode. Beurre Blanc has a reputation. People think it's a restaurant sauce, a fussy sauce, a sauce that only behaves for professionals.
It isn't. It's three things: a little acid reduction, cold butter, and gentle heat. That's the whole sauce. Today, I'm going to show you why it breaks, how to stop it, and the part nobody teaches, how to save it if it does start to go. Then, we're pairing it with scallops. Can't wait.
Like every sauce we've made in this series, Beurre Blanc follows a simple formula. First, reduce the wine, vinegar, and shallots. Then keep the pan warm, but not boiling, as you gradually whisk in cold butter. Follow these steps and you'll create a silky, glossy emulsion.
Here's the thing most recipes skip. Butter is already a sauce. What do I mean by that? It's an emulsion itself. Tiny droplets of water and milk solids held inside fat, all locked together. A beurre blanc isn't about building an emulsion from scratch. It's about melting the butter gently enough that the butter emulsion stays together instead of splitting apart when we combine it with an acid.
The most basic components of a beurre blanc are simple: wine, shallots, and butter. Everything we do from here serves one idea: keep the butter together. We start with the flavor base: dry white wine, shallots, and I like to add a splash of white wine vinegar. In a beurre blanc, the acid is the foundation. There's no fond, no brown drippings to start from the way there is in a pan sauce. The wine and vinegar themselves become the base of the whole sauce. We reduce this down until there's only a couple of tablespoons left in the pan. It's almost dry. 2 reasons. 1, we're concentrating all that shallot and wine flavor into something intense. 2, we're getting rid of the excess water that would otherwise thin out our butter later. This part you can do well ahead of time. That's your restaurant prep, and this is the perfect time to sear our scallops.
While the reduction rests, we can sear our scallops. Quick note though, the focus of this lesson isn't actually on the scallops, but on the sauce itself. So I'll keep this a little tight, but I will put the full scallop method on my blog. I do want to make sure though that we do note today that you must dry your scallops completely. A wet scallop will steam. A dry scallop will turn golden. And right before they go in the pan, which is heating up right now to very hot, we'll season with a little salt.
In a hot pan with a thin film of oil, lay them down. I like to put them down in a circle, like a clock. This way, I know where I started. But most importantly, leave them alone. Don't move them. Just 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes until you've got a deep golden crust. The urge to poke them is the enemy. Trust the pan. Flip once, just 30 seconds on the second side. They should still be barely translucent in the center.
We'll let them finish on the plate. We're going to set them aside for now and get back to our sauce. Our reduction's right here. Now a pure beurre blanc does not use any cream. It's just butter. But here's your foolproof insurance. 1 little tablespoon of cream will help stabilize it.
A classic beurre blanc relies on butter alone to form the emulsion. My foolproof version adds just 1 tablespoon of cream before the butter. It keeps the classic flavor while giving home cooks a little extra insurance against the sauce breaking. With the cream in our sauce, it's far more forgiving of the heat. Now the butter. Heat as low as it goes. We add the cold cubes a few at a time, mixing constantly, letting each batch melt and disappear before the next goes in. And this is why butter has to be cold. Cold butter melts slowly. The slow melt is what gives it time to fold into the sauce instead of just turning to grease. Warm butter melts too fast and splits. Cold butter is patient, and patience is the whole secret. Keep going until all the butter's in and you've got a sauce that's thick, pale, and glossy. It should coat the back of a spoon and hold a line when you drag your finger across it. Season with salt and a little white pepper. White, not black, to keep the beautiful pale sauce free of dark specks.
The entire game is temperature. We want the butter warm enough to melt creamy, but not hot enough to boil. Get that one thing right, and the sauce basically makes itself.
Almost every butter sauce comes down to one of three mistakes. The heat is too high, the butter is added too quickly, or the sauce is allowed to boil. Control those three things, and Beurre Blanc becomes much easier to master.
Now, what if it starts to break anyway? You'll see it go thin and oily around the edges. Don't panic and don't throw it out.
First move, turn off the heat immediately. Add a tablespoon of cold water or even a single small ice cube and whisk like you mean it. 9 times out of 10, that cold shock pulls it right back together.
All right, our sauce is ready. While you do not have to strain it, I personally like to. I do enjoy the flavor of the shallots, but I prefer my Beurre Blanc very smooth and silky. So I'm going to strain it now. Just that easy.
Okay, let's plate. Here's the restaurant move. The sauce goes down first in a wide pool, and the scallops sit on top, the crust proudly up. You eat with your eyes first. A scatter of chives, and that's it. Look at that. Silky, glossy, stable. The exact sauce people are afraid of, and now you know how to make it at home.
All right, it's my favorite part. I get to eat. I can't wait to dig in there. Look at that. That is so good. The scallop is sweet and just barely set in the middle. The crust gives it a nice little bite. And then the sauce, it's rich, but that acid we built early on, it keeps it from feeling heavy. It just coats everything. Now that's a balanced Beurre Blanc. This is the kind of plate you pay, big bucks for in a restaurant. And now you know how to make it in your own kitchen in about 15 minutes. I'm getting back in there. Remember the whole thing, a flavor reduction, cold butter, and gentle heat, plus constant whisking. Get the temperature right, and a Beurre Blanc isn't a restaurant secret anymore. It's a Tuesday. This is the first of 5 butter sauce episodes, and it's the foundation for everything coming. Next time, we're going somewhere a little nuttier with a brown butter, and trust me, it makes everything taste better. If this Beurre Blanc feels possible to you now, subscribe to catch the rest of the series. The full written recipes and methods are on the website. Okay, I'll see you next time.